It is day 18, 8:39 a.m. in the Big Brother UK All-Stars house. Davina is outside checking on the chickens, cleaning their coop, feeding them, getting everything sorted out. As we can tell, it is snowing pretty heavily outside and everything is getting covered. I kind of hate that the rug, that is like the stone pavement, however it's a rug, it doesn't get covered in snow as well. Bit of a bummer, but I do love seeing the house completely white and covered in snow. It seems as though Isabel is hanging up some laundry. I guess she's hoping to get some frozen clothes back in return. I don't really know what that's about. A lot of the house guests are inside the kitchen, especially most of the Team Blue members. We see that Makosi, New York, and Craig are having a bit of a conversation at the dining room table. Charley soon comes to join in, and meanwhile, Helen kind of stands idly in the kitchen, just waiting for someone else to walk in that she can have a conversation with. Thankfully for her, Pete is that next person that comes and talks to her. In the storage room, we see that the refrigerator is now broken, as well as the dryer. So after a little bit of discussion, Nadia decides to work on the refrigerator while Brian works on the dryer and fixes that up for everyone. In the bedroom, we see that Cameron is doing some laundry. Meanwhile, everyone else is kind of just standing around. Courtney, Nikki, and Rylan are not doing anything. They're not sure. They're still, fresh woken up. Their minds aren't clear yet. But the kitchen does get busier and busier as everyone slowly migrates in there, hoping to get some breakfast and also hoping that someone else cooks it for them. However, again, because of no ministries being assigned, it's often pretty rare that anyone actually gets anything, and nothing will happen until that refrigerator gets fixed. But we see that Victor has joined the dining room table discussion, as well as Emma. Meanwhile, I think Cameron's trying to decide if he wants to bartend or not. Somehow in the kitchen, there is a cup of water that's upside down, floating in the air. I didn't notice until Helen did some push-ups, but it's just kind of chilling there until I think I end up picking it up and just moving it to the side by myself without even having to go to build mode or anything. But yeah, that was a bit strange. Meanwhile, Isabel is alone in the bathroom fixing all the toilets. By 9:58 a.m., both the dryer and the refrigerator are completely fixed. We see that Gemma is finally starting off that laundry. However, Cameron doesn't seem too happy that Nadia left behind a whole puddle and didn't manage to clean that up. However, Big Brother's going to go ahead and call the house guest into the living room so we can start our final part of the blue versus green task. It's all going to come to a head today as we really decide who wins the task. Is it going to be the blue team or the green team? Now, all along, it didn't matter how many rooms were won. It was just the advantage of having that room, the advantage of having either a bed or a bathroom or whatever it was. However, there is a huge advantage with this room. Today, everyone is going to be competing for access to the diary room. And whichever team wins access to the diary room will be completely immune from eviction, and any of those votes that were cast towards those house guests are going to turn into big bucks and go straight into those house guest inquiries. So we're going to go ahead and call all of the house guests back into that task room and compete in our last task. All right, so today's task is going to be a fun little dance-off. Everyone is going to compete in pairs, one blue versus one green, and whoever dances the best and wins that dance-off will win a point for their team. Whichever team has the most points will win access to the diary room and again be immune from this week's eviction, which takes place tomorrow. So Pete goes ahead and turns on the music, we dim the lights, and we get this party started. First up, we are going to have Charley versus Isabelle. All of the pairs were completely random, but I did try to go with people that, either were kind of like counters to one another or had equivalent skills, but still, they were all a bit random. And it's all determined by how they react after the dance, whether they're happy about the performance or they're neutral. It seems as though Brian is one of the first people to come join, however he looks suspicious at first. I don't know what that facial expression was. Meanwhile, Craig and Pete dance behind as Charley gets her group thing on. Alright, and after Isabel counteracts that, and based on their reactions, Charley has won that dance battle, giving Blue 1 point. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start our next battle, which is going to be between Brian and Pete. So this dance has not only been extremely close this whole time, I feel like, but also it's going on for so long. The Charley-Isabel one ended really quickly, but again, based on the performances and their reaction afterwards, I gotta go ahead and give this point to Pete, meaning we have 1 point for Blue and now 1 point for Green. Next up is Craig versus Courtney. One thing that annoys me about this battle is that instead of dancing along while Courtney is taking his turn, Craig just stands there and doesn't even dance. He just kind of ends the battle almost. And also, Courtney obviously is a drag queen. Dancing and singing and performing is part of their career and life. So it is no surprise that Courtney goes ahead and wins this round, bringing another point in for the blue team, leading them 2-1. Next up, we're going to have New York versus Davina.
Skuma.
Bayumi.
Yeah, nibs.
I think Davina would put on a really fun performance. I feel like I've seen her dance and the way she acts how quirky and weird. It'd be like a duck dancing or something. It'd be really fun to watch. However, we know that Tiffany is pretty good at dancing. She herself had a twerking class in the Big Brother house and taught all the house guests how to twerk. So I'm kind of disappointed she didn't bring that move onto the dance floor. However, she clearly didn't need it as she goes ahead and wins this round, making it 3 points for the blue team versus 1 point for the green team. Next up, it's going to be Victor versus Rylan. Annoyingly, Rylan decides that his conversation is more important than his offer to do a dance battle, and instead he has to finish everything that he wants to say. He has to fully listen to what Nikki's rebuttal is to the conversation, and Victor literally has to just go ahead and start dancing before Rylan makes his way over to the dance floor finally. I don't know, I'm pretty annoyed by that. However, it should be a pretty good competition as Rylan is a professional singer / dancer, I guess. Now this is where the method of judging gets a little funky, because I feel like personally I think Rylan did the best. However, again, based on the reactions and everything, Victor won this. So he brings in another point for the green team, so now they have 2 finally, and not just Pete being the only one to score so far for them. Next up we're going to have Nikki versus Gemma. And I do notice that Nikki has these like tiger stripes on her face, and we will get that fixed up for her. I don't have her going to the diary room or anything, but just know, I see it, and we'll get that all cleared up. However, we're gonna go see if the GC can get down and beat Nikki at dancing. Now, see, I think just based on how amazing Gemma looks right now and the way she's dancing, I would go ahead and reward her for the point. However, again, based on how we're judging this, they are both pretty happy with their performance, and they both seem to have kind of won. So it is a draw. This round does not count officially, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one. And that one's actually going to be Emma versus Helen. So annoyingly again, Emma just kind of pulls a Craig sort of situation and just stops dancing once she's finished her little part. And therefore when Helen finishes hers, it kind of just awkwardly ends because Emma wasn't dancing anymore. Therefore, neither of them really won. I guess I could have given the point to Helen, honestly, but because of her reaction at the end, as you'll see, it didn't really seem like she would have won if Emma kept dancing. Everyone else eventually starts to have to use the bathroom, they need water, and also due to there being an uneven number in the teams with Gary being gone now, I just go ahead and count up all the points. We're going to go ahead and give it to Blue, as they have been winning most of the dances anyway. They are going to go ahead and get called to the diary room, as they now own the diary room. We see that Nadia went ahead and left the task room to go play on the computer. But with that being said, all of the members on the blue team are now safe, meaning Nikki, Rylan, Charley, and Cameron no longer face the block, and any votes that were sent to them from you guys will turn into big bucks and added to their inquiry, either in today's episode down below or in tomorrow's down below, whenever I get around to it. And with that, the task of green versus blue is officially over. And now when everyone goes ahead and leaves the diary room, we see that everything is back to normal. Everyone has access to all rooms in the house now. And of course, that red couch is back with our 4 official nominees. So unfortunately for the green team, their nominees are still facing the block, and one of them will be going home tomorrow night based on who you decide to save. So do you want to save Pete, or do you want to save Nadia? How about our new guy, Victor? He has spent the least amount of time here in the house. Or maybe you want to save our girl, Makosi. It's all up to you, and whatever you decide, one person will be going home tomorrow night. So make sure you stay tuned for that. At 9:42 p.m., everyone is now finally being able to relax and enjoy the house, and especially those rooms they weren't able to access before. We see that there's a big line of people, especially blue team members, that are making their way to the bathrooms for the first time all week to actually use the toilet and to shower. Meanwhile, Courtney is enjoying the garden for the first time by sleeping on a concrete bench. naturally. In the living room, a lot of the people congregate still as they're all finally, I think they've all kind of gotten used to hanging out in the living room together. So now they're all kind of there right now while Brian kind of puts on a show for everyone. Also, the snow on the screen door makes me think a swarm of flies or bugs is attacking the house every time I see it. It terrifies me. The bathroom is, of course, busier than ever. However, thankfully, all the toilets are working right now. One of the sinks isn't, but you win some, you lose some. But it is getting pretty crowded as a lot of those Blue Team members, again, are being able to use the bathroom for the first time, and everyone's kind of slowly getting ready to go to sleep. We see that Charley is actually so tired that she ends up just falling asleep in the bathroom, and weirdly, it causes everyone to kind of point and laugh and mock her. Brian even takes out his phone and starts taking pictures of her from all different angles. Everyone's just kind of laughing and making a joke of it, which I kind of think is funny since they were all doing it when they were part of the Ministry of Peace. So now that someone isn't, it's like funny to sleep in the bathroom. I don't know. Meanwhile, Craig and Nikki finally reconnect after a long week of being separated. At 11:06 p.m., we can see that our bedroom is back to normal in all white. And a lot of our house guests have already climbed into bed and have gone to sleep. And it kind of feels so much homier now that everyone is able to sleep together. Everyone's all together in their little bedroom. It's very, like, good night, Jan. Good night, Tom. I don't really know that reference. Meanwhile, the midnight rush to the bathroom is going on before everyone crawls into bed. And of course, everyone's still laughing at Charley sleeping in the bathroom. Nikki's pointing and laughing out at everyone. And Gemma's actually fixing our broken sink. So for a second, you think that everyone's going to be fine and dandy. All the toilets have been working. Now the sinks will be. However, slowly as the night goes on, the toilets get more and more filthy. And we just have to hope by in the morning the showers are still working. But with that, we're going to end this episode here. Again, we have 4 people facing the block, and one of them will be evicted tomorrow. Do you want to save Pete, Nadia, Makosi, or Victor? Vote down below. And I love all you guys. For all the latest news, follow me on Twitter, or you can always just subscribe, and share down below. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for our 3rd eviction. Bye.